Welcome to the Positively Joyful Productivity Show, where joy isn't a reward for productivity, it's the secret ingredient. I'm your host, Nicole Louise, coach, wife, and dog mom. This is a no-kid zone by design, created for women who are child-free, childless, or an empty nester embracing your next chapter. You all belong here. Each week, you'll hear inspiring stories from women around the world and learn tools, mindset shifts, and practical strategies for living a joyful life. You'll also discover the science behind why focusing on joy fuels focus, motivation, and lasting productivity. Let's get inspired, get organized, and create a life full of freedom, focus, and joy. Well, hello, and welcome back to the Positively Joyful Productivity Show. I'm your host, Nicole Louise, and today's episode, I'm going to be sharing a really cool AI tool that's going to really help your productivity, especially those deep focus sessions. So let's get into it. I want to talk about this AI tool called Beeper. So, if you are on different social media platforms, and you get messages from Facebook and Instagram and X or Twitter or whatever it's called, LinkedIn, emails, text messages, WhatsApp, like all the things, right? And you're working along through your day, and your phone is just going crazy all day long. And if you're like me, you would constantly grab your phone and check your Instagram message or check your LinkedIn connection message. And, it was like it's like constant interruption throughout your entire day. So the mental load of constant notifications and having to switch platforms to check all of your messages, it's a little much. And this amazing little tool called Beeper just saved my day. So let me get into it. As I just explained, I use several social media platforms. I use LinkedIn, I use Facebook, I use Instagram, I use WhatsApp, and I'm getting notifications, all day long. I connect with people from all over the world, which is amazing. But of course, we're all in different time zones. And so, messages come in at all hours of the day and night. And, it's not always like texting a friend who lives nearby, like where it's back and forth and then it's kind of done in a few minutes. No, these messages, there's like several hour delays where someone might be responding. So, anyway, I get messages, all the time. And so I have to like go into Facebook and then I have to go to the messaging app and then I have to scroll and find the message. And then I have to go to LinkedIn and I have to go to, the message tab in LinkedIn and go to the message. And then I have to go to Instagram and click on the little messaging thing. And so there's like a lot going on there. And you have to open up the app, go to the messaging thing. Like productivity speaking, that's a lot. It takes extra time. It's, going to all these different um, platforms, like it really hinders your productivity. And it's those little things that stack up throughout the day that can really derail your progress. And so the other pitfall is, oh, you go to check a message on Instagram and you see a really intriguing post and you're like, oh, what's that? And then you just start scrolling, right? Like, been there, done that, got that t-shirt. So again, it just completely hinders your productivity and it completely can derail, a project that you're working on. And then it can leave you feeling completely scattered and just, all over the place at the end of it. So enter Beeper. So Beeper is this AI tool, and you can use it on your computer and your phone, both Android and Apple phones. And what it is it puts all of your messaging apps into one place. Now, this might sound really small and like not a big deal, But if you're like me and you use multiple platforms to communicate with people, and you think about the time that it takes to open the app, go to the message, respond, da 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 da, this is a huge time saver. And everything is in one place. So, a couple of cool features about this. So, I'm going to actually open the app so that I can better show you or talk with you about it. So the app itself connects several different messaging apps. So I've already mentioned Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, um, Twitter. There's all kinds of um, social media platforms that this thing will connect for you. And then everything is just in one place. So your messages are all organized by, the last received. So it's not necessarily um, broken down by app service. So it's not like all your Facebook messages are in one spot and your Instagram are in another. Like it's all in one place. Um, but you can look at your unread messages, there's low priority, all kinds of things. But then you can sift through. There is a tab where you can select each social media platform and you can go to those messages specifically. I personally am enjoying just having everything in one place. It just makes my life so much easier. And there is a little icon next to the person, next to their little picture, so you can tell which platform they're actually messaging you from, which is pretty cool. And so once I started using this, whoa, my deep work sessions, it completely transformed them because I was no longer being interrupted by the constant beeping of all these different messaging apps. And so what I started doing was putting my phone on, silent mode. And now I'm able to respond to my messages at one specific time during the day so that when I am, working on things early in the morning and I really need to focus on getting things done before I head off to work, I am able to really deep focus and then I can get to my messages later when I have a little bit more time. So this gives me more interrupt uninterrupted work blocks, which of course boosts my productivity. So I am more focused, I'm in flow, I'm able to do my work. Everything is just, it's so much smoother. And there's also less mental clutter. So if you're like me and your phone is going off all day long, um, you're able to kind of set that aside and focus on messages at one specific time during your day. So there's less like anxiety around constantly having to answer your messages if you're like me. So having everything in one place, it saves time. It saves the mental effort of having to, answer those messages immediately from people. You can set specific times during your day when you can now do that. And it's just a really cool little tool that I've been using, and I was excited to share this with you all. So let's talk. I want to be honest with this. So, one thing I've noticed about AI tools is that they're new. AI is newer to the scene, not new, but a lot of these tools that are coming out can be a little bit glitchy. Like, think back to when the internet first came out and nobody knew how to use it and nobody knew what they were doing. Things were a little glitchy and web links didn't always work and, it was kind of wonky at first. That's kind of where we're at with AI right now. Like companies are developing these apps so quickly and so many different people are developing these tools, which is amazing. But with that comes a little glitchiness to these things. So I just want to caution you, these AI tools are incredibly helpful, but just be aware that glitches can occur. So As always, I was a little apprehensive. I'm like, okay, so I kept my notifications on for all of the messaging apps that I currently use. And I noticed that it was keeping up. Like I was getting the notifications from Beeper and all of my other social media platforms. I was still getting the notifications right at the same time. And for LinkedIn specifically, I don't have notifications turned on. I get an email notification. And so the beeper notification was obviously faster than the email notification, which was kind of nice because it was a little more current. And since I'm hanging out on LinkedIn as my main platform these days, that was, that's important to me. So I was really impressed with the fact that it was keeping up. However, I did notice that there were a couple of days where I wasn't getting notifications for the messages. That only lasted for a short time though, which was good. I was glad to see that, it was fixed quickly. But again, it's a new AI tool, working out the kinks. So just be aware of that. If you notice that you're not getting as many messages as you normally do, just go into your apps and just double check everything, make sure things are still connected. And for some reason, for me personally, Instagram seems to like disconnect itself, but I don't get as many messages through Instagram. That's not my main messaging platform. And so that could be why. I'm not 100% sure, but that's my guess at this point. So, even though it can be a little glitchy, overall, I've been using this app for several weeks now, and overall, it actually, has been keeping up. And, like I said, AI tool, it's new, it's a work in progress, but this is definitely a promising one. I still recommend it. So, if you are someone like, who is this good for, right? So, if you are someone who is juggling multiple platforms, uh, even two, like if you have two different messaging apps, I still recommend it because again, it's going to save you the time of having to go to one platform, open up the messaging app. That takes time. Maybe it's a few seconds, it's not that long, but then you can get distracted by scrolling through social media, right? And so that is where the trap lies, right? So not having that distraction of going to the social media app itself, your messages are just in one messaging app and not being distracted by that. I definitely recommend it for you, if that's where you get kind of hung up with your productivity. So this would be good for really anybody who's using multiple messaging platforms, professionals, entrepreneurs, coaches, um, anyone in general who just wants to streamline their messaging process on their phone and not be so distracted and just keep everything in one place. So again, I definitely recommend this. It's very easy to set up. You can download the app on your cell phone or do it on your computer or both, whichever you prefer. I would recommend doing it on your phone because that's where most of us are interacting with our messages. So definitely download the app on your phone. And yeah, I would say definitely, it's worthwhile in terms of saving you time, reducing your mental load, increasing that deep focus time, that's so critical and crucial. So I would say overall, definitely I would recommend this app. And, a big key takeaway from this is that you're using this AI tool to regain your time and regain your focus, regain your mental clarity, and not lose more of those things. So remember that you don't have to be available 24/7 to people. You're allowed to create systems that protect your peace. And this system can help you do that. So I definitely encourage you to check out this AI tool. For me, it's been a total game changer. I am loving it. So I wanted to pass this on to all of you. I will link the website down below. But again, if you're going to download it on your phone, which I definitely recommend, just go to the App Store and look for Beeper. Okay, so this was a shorty episode this week, but definitely a high value episode. At least I hope you think so. It's been a game changer for me, so I hope that it works for you. That is going to wrap it up for today, short and sweet. But in the meantime, I hope you have a beautiful week ahead, and I'll chat with you again next week. Take care for now.